There's only one thing we can do.
There's only one thing we can do is come back to our awesome show, Off the Clock. Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Clock.
I hope you had a great spring break.
I hope you guys had a great spring break. How was your spring break, Cory?
It was great. I did nothing. All spring break, I sat at home and I played Monster Hunter. And I had a wonderful, spectacular time. We actually tried to get it into the podcast studio to talk to you lovely people. Unfortunately, it did not work out. They were closed, but the online form was not closed. But the actual studio, I guess, was. Yeah. So we came here, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, really excited to record an extra episode. We're doing 2 this week, and we could not, sadly. But it's okay. We're here now, and we were talking about it. This is going to be our fastest turnaround for an episode ever.
It is. You guys are watching this on Monday at whenever I managed to get it out. We are recording this the same day at like 10:30. So you guys are seeing this right after. So we're present. We're current with modern events.
Absolutely. Yeah, the weather today. Haha.
Oh my God, the weather.
Yeah, we can
today
talk about the
crazy.
real weather. Yeah. But we did go to regional conference right before spring break.
Last episode we had Keegan on, we talked about regional conference, which he was heading.
This is little update. It was pretty fun. It was way more low-key than I thought it would be, which I actually liked personally. I did not like the idea of being in that place with a bunch of other people. Yeah. It kind of freaks me out.
Because when you think about like a conference, you think like a bajillion people all swarming around and it's super loud in there and everyone's in like super fancy business suits and they're all talking to all the professional people.
I was more worried that all like the e-board like AMA people would just be like headless chickens like running around like freaking out.
I got you.
But because it was super low key, really nothing like that happened.
Yeah,
we got Papa John's as well. The pizza was kind of fire, and there was so much pizza.
Yeah,
like there was too much pizza for the amount of people that were at the event.
Yeah, it was. I think they projected a little more attendance than there ended up being.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when it's the Friday and Saturday of spring break.
Which we can blame the Hurricanes for that, because
for sure,
if this was last semester and I think it would have been like October 13th or something like that.
It should have been.
If it was last semester. Probably would have been higher attendance, but it was still fun. We had some great guest speakers.
A lot of AMA alum.
We weren't able to stay for all of it, but we had our little alumni panel. One of the people from that alumni panel might end up being on the podcast.
Yeah.
Coming up sometime soon. The head honcho of all of AMA was there.
John AMA. John AMA was there.
Shout out Benny.
Yeah, I was going to say whose name I don't remember.
Shout out Benny.
We didn't get to meet him, sadly.
Yeah, he had a really nice little fireside chat. We weren't able to be there because we
had other stuff going on.
Other preoccupations. You know, we're busy students, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
There's also a few different competitions. There was a case competition that we did that I was involved in. I couldn't present for it, but basically there was this there's this nonprofit organization, Cards to Warriors, which was sponsoring regional conference.
What do they do?
Cards to Warriors is for people who are suffering from disabilities. And basically, you're making cards that are providing support for them, so that they just feel the love from the community. It's just a really nice thing. They get a lot of high school students who are trying to finish up their bright future hours, who write cards in support for them. But
I get that.
Yeah, it started because the lady who's in charge of it, her daughter was suffering from some disability. I don't want to say the wrong one, but she saw a need and she filled that need, and we did a little presentation about like how maybe we could provide more interest and get more people to provide cards for those warriors, which is really nice. There was also the graphic design competition.
So that's what I was excited to talk about for sure. There was a little graphic design workshop competition that was headed by Annika.
Shout out Annika.
Yeah, I didn't bring a laptop or anything when we went. I didn't know that it was gonna I was going to need to bring anything or do anything. Thankfully, though, we worked in pairs, so Alex and I paired up, and we did the graphic design competition, and I'm proud to say we won.
Woo!
We did get first place out of there were only 2 other teams, but but it doesn't matter because it's going on the resume regardless.
It's true. First place
graphic
the AMA
design.
Regional Conference of 2025
graphic
design competition. We're killer.
Yeah, boom, that's it.
We can get any job with that. That's going to be something you get asked so I see on your resume you won this graphic design competition.
Yeah, and then I'm going to show them what we made, our beautiful designs.
Yeah, so should be an overlay going up on the screen now.
Yeah. Oh, for some context, it was supposed to be a billboard.
Yes.
And the original one is supposed to be for a social cause or something. But Annika was pretty lax and was just honestly, just do whatever. Yeah. And everyone started having some fun with it. Alex and I got a bunch of different designs.
Yeah, we made a few different designs. This is the one that ended up winning, the one that you're seeing in front of you right now.
Yeah, Yeah, this was really good.
I feel like it fits into like meme culture kind of while
Yeah.
still being like this is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We definitely had like an image first, like a picture first design philosophy.
Yeah.
We found a picture that stands out, something that's like funny to us.
Yeah, for audio listeners, by the way, the poster that we're showing right now is a picture of a guy gripping a chicken sandwich incredibly hard.
Yeah, like very aggressively.
Yeah, with the caption in Chick-fil-A font, "Relax, nobody's gonna take it from you. Exit 41."
Yeah. We originally for this we had the Chick-fil-A logo and then we had like Chick-fil-A at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we ended up like foregoing it cuz I think it would have made the billboard feel more crowded.
Yeah, it would have been more busy. And I feel like it's sort of understated at the moment. Like,
there's just no way you mistake it for any other brand.
Yeah.
Like it's so, especially with like the Exit 41 Chick-fil-A thing. That one was great.
Yeah.
Some of our other designs, Alex, if you want to scroll.
I might cut this out. If I'm not cutting it out, then we're good.
This is our road rage sign.
Yes. So the initial intent of the competition was to promote a social cause, which is important. And what social cause is more important to see on a billboard than trying to prohibit road rage?
Absolutely.
So it's, for context for the audio listeners again, it is a guy with a not real gun over his steering wheel.
It is a fake gun. It is a fake firearm.
Yeah, with the caption, "This is who you're honking at. Road rage kills 400 people a year. Drive safe. Don't be that guy." With, in the bottom right corner, hashtag don't be that guy. And I think this one was pretty good.
This one was great. I think this one was as good as the Chick-fil-A one.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Gosh, professionalism is scary, you know? Because you never know when like someone will be like, "Oh, well, you can't show that. I'm offended."
Yeah, for sure. I think this is awesome. If I saw this on a billboard, it would make me look and it would make me remember it. I think the design philosophy has changed a lot. Just from like, I don't know if it's a global or not global, but like a national like chain. But the "Your wife is hot" like air conditioning.
Yeah.
That was the first time where I was like, okay, billboards can do this. Like they can be funny, they can be subversive in some way. And I think we're very much following that with this one.
Yeah, I think the point of a billboard is partially like to grab someone's attention, because if they're driving, they're just like they get one flash to look at it and then they drive right past it, right?
Exactly.
So you want to make a super big impact. I know it used to be a bigger thing back in the day. One of my classes actually showed like a little documentary on how people used to be like, offensive marketing was a legitimate tactic because rage brings in engagement, and engagement brings in revenue.
It's also memorable.
Yeah, and it's more memorable. So, you know, by being a little more crass and a little more taboo, maybe not abiding by traditional like marketing.
Yeah, like sanitized.
Guidelines. Yeah, exactly. You can bring in more customers. We had a few other designs that we weren't gonna use, but this one, which is sort of the similar thing.
Yeah, this is unfinished for sure.
Yes, unfinished, focused on drunk driving.
Yeah.
And then
this is the other colorway for the Chick-fil-A one. This is with the logo.
Yeah.
This was our other design idea. I like the red personally a little bit better. I think the sandwich pops more.
Exactly. And also red, I feel like pops more compared to the white background.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, maybe a little harder to paint, but still works. And then this was one that like I was sort of cooking up, just more stereotypical. It's a picture of a sad dog on the right with a big caption, "Someone's waiting at home."
Yeah.
Yeah. Very traditional if you've seen anything marketing.
Very Budweiser.
Yeah.
Just
Dude,
the cutest animal you can find.
Imagine we put like a beer in the bottom left corner. Someone's waiting at home, don't drink and drive.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That would be a good one.
Wait. Oh, my God. That would be killer. But our audience might be wondering.
Yeah.
Surely we didn't bring up like the entire overlay just to show
some silly billboards.
Because I could just pop that up on screen.
Yeah.
We have a little presentation for you guys this week.
Yeah,
so,
Alex crafted this presentation. He told me about it, and he just went buck wild. He went crazy for it.
Yeah.
So he's put this presentation together. I've seen it. It's wonderful. It's actually very helpful.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you've made it this far into the episode, like, you know, thank you first off, but also we respect your time. You're going to get something out of this for sure.
Yes, it's probably in the title. But I made a little presentation as college students, obviously. And I know some of the listeners might be seniors. We're seniors, so this is a very prescient thing for us to talk about. We're wondering, how much money do we really need to be making out of college if we want to be able to cover all of our expenses?
Yeah.
And
specifically in a marketing role, like what what your job and budget and all this other stuff will look like after college, like what you can expect as a student.
Yeah. So the focus that I made for this, and I'll get more into it, but for the people who are like me, who are listening to the AMA Off the Clock podcast, you're probably in some sort of like marketing major, you're aiming to get like some sort of sales position. Maybe you're advertising, but I focused it primarily on marketing and sales because that's more so my focus because that's what I think I'm going to be getting into.
Yeah.
But I feel like this can apply to a lot of you. So I did a little cost of living PowerPoint. If you want to stay in the Tampa area, let's bring that up. So put it in presentation mode real quick. So will we make enough in the Tampa area as marketing majors as in sales positions?
The answer might surprise you.
Yeah. So the focus was on early 20s USF business graduates who are remaining in Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
And we want to go into the cost of living. We want to go into typical wages for marketing and sales positions. And we want to go into one other important consideration before you start looking at a career that you might be getting into. You can see I have a little source on the bottom of the screen. I'm going to keep this source. Any data that I'm pulling from is going to be sourced in the bottom of the screen.
Yep. If you're on YouTube, the slide deck will be in the description, so you can look through it yourself if you want to go back and read it.
Yes.
I believe, and then we were gonna put something in the Slack. I believe
in the USF AMA Slack. I'm also going to post this PowerPoint.
For paid members.
Yeah, for paid members. So check that out.
Yeah.
So a couple disclaimers before we get into the entirety of this. I'm going to be super conservative on cost estimates because, like, you can always find savings in other spots. Like, if you live with roommates, if you live at home, then you're going to be paying less rent than someone who's, like, trying to find, like, a 1-bedroom apartment for themselves or a 2-bedroom apartment if they have, like, a partner, if they're starting a family, if they're doing that sort of thing.
There's a bunch of, like, extenuating circumstances that will change the numbers on this, and it's sort of up to you to pick and choose which ones you decide to follow.
Yeah.
And, change your budget to work for you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You could be spending more if you have like a more extravagant lifestyle, and you could be spending less if you find good savings. You can always find good savings, so maybe look for that. But this is just going to be going into averages based on estimates that I found based on data on the internet. And also, I will provide data with all the things. As you can see, like I mentioned with the sources on the bottom, there's going to be a lot of data that goes into the cost estimates I found, but there will be some opinions on where I think the market's going, where I think, what I think is going to be more viable in terms of jobs. So keep in mind that I'm not a 100% like correct source. Do your own research.
We are not economists. This is not financial advice.
Yeah. This is not financial advice.
Yeah, absolutely. But we hope this helps you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're both 21-year-old guys with a podcast, but we hope that this helps. So first, we're going to go into groceries. The estimates that I found based on grocery prices nowadays is that the average person will be spending between $370 and $500 a month per person on groceries, depending on diet and spending habits.
This does seem high. Joseph was right.
Yeah, Joseph,
we
podcast, Joseph.
stress tested the PowerPoint or the slide deck, and this was some feedback we got. But I think this counts as with eating out for sure.
Well, here's
I would say
here's the breakdown. So there's 30 days in a month, right?
Sure.
The original estimate I had for this was $450 per person.
Yep.
Do you spend $5 per meal every day? Would you spend $15 on yourself on food every day?
Probably not, but I don't know. It depends, honestly. There's a lot of factors, but definitely if you cook, meals are less than $5.
That's fair.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like if you are eating rice, chicken, and a vegetable, that one meal is under $5, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. The source I pulled this from was looking at if you're trying to get like, I think it was like your recommended caloric intake of 2,400 calories in like a day, and you're trying to hit on all the food groups, you're trying to do maximum nutrition, and you're trying to eat 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
And this is what you would need for that. Obviously, some people are going to be eating like 2 meals a day. They skip breakfast. They skip whatever.
Yep.
They're not hitting on all their goals. Like if you just have like chicken and rice, I'm sure you can get away with spending like $200, $300 a month on
chicken, rice, and a vegetable ain't never hurt nobody.
And
I
also,
love that.
This grocery estimate also goes into like other things that you would need, like trash bags,
Yeah.
soap, all that things. So like $15 a day, you kind of get there a little fast. But that's groceries. Looking at rent, a 1-bedroom apartment, based on some numbers I was looking at on Zillow, will cost between $1,100 and $1,600 a month. I don't pay rent right now. I'm an RA, but would you say this number is accurate, Cory?
For 2-bedroom, I pay around $970.
Okay.
But it's going up to about 1,000
Yeah.
or 1,100 for next year, which is why we're moving. We're
Okay.
moving somewhere that's a little bit cheaper. And I think it ends up being I'm going from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom next year.
Okay.
So we'll have another roommate.
Mm.
So it'll be a little bit cheaper as well.
Yeah.
But yes, this is about correct.
Okay, and a 2-bedroom apartment is looking at between $1,300 and $2,000 a month, depending on where you're living. This was focused mainly on the Tampa area. The next slide, I think, also shows a few things. So this is the map on Zillow. If you look up on Zillow, like costs and things like that, you can see that there's a bunch of. I think the cap I put it at was $2,000 for. Is this my 1-bedroom slide? This is my 1-bedroom slide. So I capped it at $1,600. These are all the apartments you can find in the Tampa area that max out at $1,600 in rent. But you can see there's a lot of like 1,100s here. There's a lot of 1,200s. There's some lower places that you could find if you were maybe trying to live in if you live in Seminole Heights, you're going to be paying less than if you were living in semi close to downtown.
Sure.
So it's just about the area that you try to go to.
Absolutely. Also, it's about what's the stuff that they have included.
Yeah.
There's some areas. Our friend of the show Wyatt pays a lot less in rent than us, but his place doesn't have community amenities and stuff like that, which is honestly kind of a deal because I don't be using those anyways.
That's fair. Yeah.
So. It just depends on what's offered. So you have to weigh how much you would be using, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And bundled into this cost estimate is also you'd have to pay for parking at your apartment if you have a car.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You'd have to pay for some people have you pay for trash services. So estimate as I showed on the previous slide.
By the way, trash services are a scam. They're an actual scam. If your apartment complex has it, I've never seen any apartment complex that has it not be full of trash outside all the time.
Yeah.
Literally all the time. Yeah,
people be making trash.
You're paying for just there to be trash everywhere, and then animals can get into it and break it out and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think it's better to just have a chute, or God forbid you get up off your butt and go walk to the dumpster, man.
Yeah. Hey, going to the dumpster with your trash is not that bad. You get outside. You know, you just
you have to stare in the face of your human waste.
It's true.
All of your waste that you have, all of the trash you make.
It's true. It's true. Okay.
It's sobering.
All right, so moving on from rent. Oh, okay. So utilities. This is based on estimates from Tampa Electric. The bill for a residential customer who uses 1,000 kilowatts or kilowatt hours in a month is $145.58. This is coming from 2024 data, 2025 data. And according to data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the average Florida household consumes about 1,200 kilowatt hours per month. So averaging that out, doing the proportions, passing 9th grade algebra, you should be expecting to pay about $174 in electric bill a month.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also save on this as well. I'm so bad about turning my computer off.
Yeah.
I'm better now than I was before. Before it would be actually a month or two before I'd turn my PC off, in between restarts. But now if I'm not gonna be on my PC for more than 12 hours or anything, I gotta turn it off.
Yeah.
I gotta get better in that habit.
Yeah, just turning off your electronics when you go to sleep, not
for sure.
leaving
I gotta unplug
things.
my fan. The one thing I don't do is unplug my floor fan. I have to start doing that or turning that off. Because I don't think that thing has been off ever.
Bro, I sort of condition myself into if my fan is on, that means I'm sleeping. So it starts coming on, I feel the cold air hit me, and then I just knock out.
I see.
So I'm saving on the fan, but I definitely need to turn my computer off more. But moving on from electric, internet. So internet is going to be costing, depending on if you get Spectrum or Frontier, which are the main things in the Tampa area.
Frontier's way better.
Yeah.
I hate Spectrum.
Yeah, you're going to be spending between $30 and $70 a month on your internet bill, depending on the plan that you get. Some jobs, if you're working from home, you're going to want to pay more for internet so you can get higher quality internet.
Or get a different router because the routers that they give you sometimes are not so good.
Yeah. So,
Especially Spectrum. Actually, matter of fact.
Bro, what you know about back in the day when they were Bright House networks?
Ew, dude. That's like a Xfinity. Xfinity used to be Comcast.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they had to rebrand because Comcast was so terrible.
Everybody hates Comcast.
Yeah, you remember Dish?
I do remember Dish.
Yeah, I used to have Dish as well.
Dude, what's the other one? It was when they
DirecTV.
rebranded DirecTV, yeah. But it was it reminded me of when they rebranded AMC Family to Freeform or ABC Family. Back in the day when I was watching TV.
I don't know that. That's some stuff I don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's awful, man. Frontier's so nice. If you can get fiber, please get fiber. On everything you love, please get fiber. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, moving on from internet. Car expenses. So I drive. I don't pay for my insurance right now, so I had to look up some information. This is data coming from, granted, if you're on your parents' insurance, then it's not going to be an exact cost. If you're on your, but if you're paying your insurance for yourself, it's going to be costing about $255 a month to insure yourself.
Sure. Is this for both men and women? Because the insurance price is different. If you are like a lady, your insurance price will be lower than if you're a guy. Because it's men are typically more risky drivers, so their insurance is higher.
Here's the thing. When I was doing research on this, I was trying to find, because I know intuitively that men are going to be paying more for women, or more than women, because women are usually statistically better drivers than men.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers I was finding were like $500 a month to insure men and $450 to insure women. Okay. And that didn't seem right. Because just being transparent, I'm on my dad's insurance, and for his car, his wife's car, and my car combined, it's like $500-something bucks. So I think just for one person, it's not going to be like $500.
That seems kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. So $255. It's women might be paying a little less, men might be paying a little more. This is what I found based on data. If you were to save 15% on car insurance by getting with Geico.
Oh my goodness! No sponsor either.
No sponsor.
They could sponsor us though.
They could. Hey,
they could sponsor us.
We take it. It's that 30/70 in the graphic divided by 12.
Sure.
And then gas, assuming the average gas price coming from data from last year was $3.30 a gallon. Assuming you fill up once a week, the most common car in America is the Toyota Camry.
Heck yeah.
And that has like a slightly bigger tank than the Honda Civic. I drive the Honda Civic. Which
Love Civic. Shout out Civic Squad.
Yeah, but if you're driving like a little, car along that size, like decent gas mileage, that sort of thing, the tank is 48 gallons, so you will be spending about $158 a month on gas. If you're filling up once every week, which if you're commuting to a job, you have to go get groceries, you have to go drive places. We're in Florida, you have to drive everywhere if you want to do anything. You're probably going to be filling up your tank once a week. So $255 on insurance.
I wish we had high-speed rail. I wish we had better buses.
Dude, I went to New York a couple weeks ago.
Life could be so beautiful, man, if we just had good transit.
The New York subway made me sick. So
but that's just because you're like
I approach it with evil intentions.
You're a sissy lib, bro. You're not hardened on the what the New York subway has for you.
Yeah, I'm not hardened. I don't play for LA.
Yeah. All right. He's never played for LA.
Doesn't he play for the Clippers?
Oh, now he does. Yeah. You're right. Sorry, I'm thinking about
the Lakers. Yeah.
I'm also thinking about the Rockets. Yeah. You just don't have the immune system for it. It's so good. Yeah. I would do anything. I would literally do anything.
The subway was super nice, but I will say, me swiping in that little $2.90 every time I get on the subway that would add up. You'd probably be paying a little less than, because with car insurance and all that bundled.
Let me tell you something, son. It's called hopping the turnstile.
Okay, but
every ride is free.
So you're good at defying authority?
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
The cops scare me. Bro, the NYPD, I would not mess with the NYPD.
They are, they're the fourth or fifth largest standing military force just alone.
On the planet?
Yeah.
I fully believe it.
They have tanks.
Oh my God. Bro, riding a tank through Fifth Avenue, that's crazy. That's wild.
It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's sick. All right, moving on from cars. Looking at phone bills, depending on if you're getting, T-Mobile. I have data up here from T-Mobile, from AT&T, from Verizon.
What do you have?
I have Verizon.
I have AT&T.
So you're going to be paying between $50 and $90 a month if you're getting a plan from any of these carriers. You're going to be spending less if you're getting something from T-Mobile or AT&T or
Cricket Wireless.
Or
what's the
Mint Mobile?
Yeah, Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
That's what is that? Ryan?
That's Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds' thing.
Yeah, he hops on the YouTube ad and he starts being like sassy in the
I like their marketing. Really, their marketing's really good.
It's a good like use of, I guess it is influencer marketing.
Yes, when I like the ad where he's like, I bought this camcorder for like $40, and it's like it accidentally plays like a family video of somebody like, and he was like, sorry, I recorded over that, but we're all about saving here. It was very cool. I like that. I like the marketing for Mint Mobile a lot. But regardless, dude, I actually don't even like. You got to get on the plan with like everybody. Like I know so many people that are still on like group plans, like with their like family plans.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
I'm on my dad's plan. So.
Yeah, for sure. But like even people who are older, like some people I know that are like 25, 26, like even older than that, are still on their parents' phone plan just because it's like you get the family plans are so big, man.
Yeah, my plan right now is it's me, my dad, and my grandma.
Yeah.
And then
That's how it goes, man.
Hey, you got to support the family, you know?
Yeah. I know like people will group up, even just friends will group up for like family plans all together.
Yeah, but I'll say this PowerPoint is, let's assume that the person this is directed to
has no friends, no family, no anything.
So they were orphaned at the age of 14.
Yep.
Both mom and dad gone.
We're building the persona right now.
Yeah. Ran over by a car because we're a car country.
Yep.
And they have no friends because they suck and everyone hates them. So they have to live by themselves.
And they're dirty. They smell. That's why they have no friends.
Exactly. They're dirty and they smell and they have no friends because they're dirty and they smell.
Because they stink and there's stink lines coming off of them.
Which that might not go super well with the later stuff, but we'll see.
Sure.
And also they are really, really like conscious of like their health.
Yeah.
Like they want to get their maximum caloric.
Yeah. They eat three meals a day. They don't take care of themselves in any other way. They only eat 3 meals a day.
Yeah. But realistically, like this is just the person who wants to be self-sufficient for themselves. Yeah. Like the American dream, right? Is you move out from your parents' house, you cover all your own bills, so you don't have to make your
walk into a Fortune 500 company with your resume, paper in hand, in a suit. See the CEO in the lobby, shake his hand him your resume, and then you get the job instantaneously.
Yep.
You're making 6 figures a year out the gate.
Yep.
Buy a house, white picket fence, start the family.
Yeah,
exactly. It's beautiful and it's achievable. That's the other thing they don't want to tell you. It's achievable right now,
dude. You can do this in America,
bro. If you just walk around with your resume and a firm handshake,
hey,
world's your oyster.
Perfect.
And that's what they teach you in the Muma College of Business.
Exactly. Okay. So other expenses. So streaming services. You're going to be, the average person I'd say is spending about $30 a month on streaming services. That's your Hulu Disney Plus bundle. That's your Peacock. That's your Max. That's your
Dude, I hate this called Max.
That's your Netflix. That's your Spotify Premium.
Yeah.
That's your Amazon Prime. That's if you are I don't know, you're paying for Dropout because you like College Humor and you want to watch your D&D shows or something like that. I have all the different prices listed on the side for how much it is for the cheapest plan of each of these primary streaming services. Also, Paramount Plus is on here, but like...
This is no one's paying for that. But no one's paying for that.
Yeah.
This is an area you can save for sure.
For sure.
Group up with your friends, man. Have one person pay for this, one person pay for that, or... Never mind. You know what to do. You know where to go.
They're cracking down on password sharing though, which makes it
which is some real. That's some messed up stuff.
It is
man.
a smart business move that is saving them money and making them money. It is very not consumer friendly.
It is a nightmare for PR.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for PR, but it's working. People are buying more plans, so like whatever.
Yeah, and you know what to do if you don't want to participate in that. I don't need to tell you.
Yeah. On the slide, I also have the other lifestyle expenses. If you're buying clothes, if you're focusing on personal care, that's if you're getting a haircut, if you're getting your nails done, if you're ever doing anything for your own personal hygiene, this is where this is included. If you're dining out or socializing, so this is where I'm diverting from the marketing persona of this person smells and has no friends.
Yeah.
Say
they have a really expensive hobby or something. I don't know. They're weird. They like Warhammer figurines.
No, they go to like a local gaming club and they buy Magic cards.
Yeah, and they stink really bad at the local gaming club.
So we're back because they have a marketing job, but also they go to like the local gaming club to play Magic.
Yeah.
But for the typical business person, like I'm picturing this is like you're going out for drinks with your coworkers.
Yeah.
You're going out for like maybe like a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Going out to drinks with your coworkers, you only like one or two guys.
Yeah.
The rest of the people are like kind of like not your vibe. But I could build the whole thing top to bottom. Just
Yeah. This is also your entertainment and leisure expenses. If you ever go to see a movie, if you ever go to see a concert, with the prices of concert tickets nowadays, like
ridiculous.
You could easily knock out half this budget on just like going to see Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
You know? Or like if you're going to like a hockey game, or you're going to see like if you're going to see the Bucks, or you're going to see like the Orlando Magic or something like that, you know? I'm actually going to see the Magic play the Celtics next month. I'm driving to Orlando for that.
You live in Florida and you're gonna go there and root for the Celtics. Like that's the worst thing about it, man.
And what's wrong with it?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it because it's the Orlando Magic. I don't know if there's anyone.
Magic.
I don't know if there's anyone that that votes for them to win. Even their own fans.
Yeah.
Sorry for any Orlando Magic fans out there, but like I'm not sorry at all.
Unfortunately,
your team is awful.
Unfortunately, the Orlando Magic have been putting the Celtics in a pack. We are 0-2 on them this season.
That's so funny. How are you losing?
I don't know, but we're going to win this one. I swear to God. Like, please. Like, pretty please.
The anomaly.
Yeah, this is also going to go into your emergency maintenance and repairs. Like, if your car needs a tire replaced.
That's not budgeted in here?
That's not budgeted in here, but I'm coupling this into, like, just
sure
extra money that you will spend.
This is fun money.
Yeah, this is your fun money. I had the fun money way higher previously. I estimated at, like, say you were spending $20 a day on this. It ends up being $600 a month, which is really high.
That is really high, but having fun is really important, guys.
Yeah, having fun keeps you like all.
It's also really important.
Makes Johnny a dull boy.
It's true,
yeah.
And also it's also very important to have a roof over your head, though. So.
Yeah, and I also have coffee budgeted into this.
Wow,
which like this could balloon a lot if you start thinking about like
yeah.
Caffeine addicts, you need a coffee every single day,
bro. Just get on the caffeine pills. They're so economically affordable.
But it ruins the fun.
It definitely does.
Mm-hmm. Half the fun. It's like
no sweet treat.
Do you know how people like keep trying to find ways to do nicotine without smoking a cigarette?
Yeah.
Or like to enjoy the sensation of smoking a cigarette without nicotine?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can't because like the thing that they're addicted to is nicotine. So it's like it's jacked up. But in total, let's say you spend $12 a day in each month on just your fun money. That's you getting a coffee, maybe going to a movie once a week.
Yeah, 6 packs of cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's your fun money.
This would end up being about $360 a month.
Sure.
Which could easily be higher. If you don't like having fun, this could be like $0.
Yeah, if you want to just save money forever and don't have fun, which is actually viable. Yeah. Like I'm not even trying to make a joke or anything.
If you never buy any outfit ever and you wear the same 5 suits every single day and then just
this
don't
can
wear
be a
clothes
lot
on
lower
weekends.
and you can save a lot more.
Yeah, but $360 a month. Originally, I had this at $500. Me personally, I think I'd end up spending about $500 a month on fun money, but I'm a little more social, I'd say.
Yeah, I think
I like doing things.
The things that you do tend to be just a tad more expensive than like, normal amount.
Like with the subscriptions, my AMC Stubs comes out of this, which is a $30 a month expense for me. So, yeah. But that's all the categories I have. So overall, let's do the breakdown. Rent, I said between $1,100 and $1,600. Since we're being a little more conservative, I put it at $1,300. Groceries, $400 a month. Electric, $174 a month. Internet, $50 a month. Car insurance, $255 a month. Gas, $158 a month. Phone, $90 a month. Streaming, $30 a month. And lifestyle, $360 a month. That totals into you needing to make $2,818 every month.
Yep.
Which breaks down to $16 an hour. And which totals at $33,822 a year. So there's a little graph showing the breakdown based on what category it is in. If you want to cover your expenses for a happy lifestyle and you don't want to be miserable sitting in your room eating ramen all day, you will need to make at least $34,000 a month. Or $34,000 a month.
$34,000 a month.
You will need to make at least $34,000 annually to cover your expenses.
Also, if you consult the pie chart, 46% is going to rent. It is what it is, but this is not we don't do financial advice, but there are people that are much smarter than us, like that have said before, if you are spending more than 50% of your like annual income or like your whatever kind of salary you have on rent, there is something seriously wrong. Like you do not want to be spending more than 50%.
Yeah.
So try to keep it, 46 seems about right. Okay. It's on the higher side, but what are you gonna do, man?
And you can obviously save money by living with your parents, living with roommates, living with
you can probably shave a little bit off this for sure.
Yeah. Like I had it at $1,300. You can maybe find like $1,000.
Yeah, I mean if you have a roommate, like you're paying, Yeah.
Yeah, or you
You're
just
not
find
paying.
like a 3-bedroom apartment and like
Yeah.
everyone works and you just split it evenly 3 ways. Then you can
Same thing with like groceries can work like that too.
Yes,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, you can skip meals. It's totally okay.
Low key.
Or you could just eat like rice and pork all day. So the next category that we're going to be going into is the expected money that you're going to be making from a few different jobs in the.
You didn't.
Oh, I'm going to go next in a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The expected money that you're going to be making from marketing and sales jobs in the Tampa area. I looked at Indeed. I looked at ZipRecruiter. I looked at Glassdoor. I looked at a lot of the different websites where you can find jobs.
Did you check Handshake?
I didn't check Handshake.
Did you check Handshake?
You know what? That's going to be.
Everybody loves Handshake.
That's my Achilles heel in this entire presentation is I didn't check Handshake.
The smoking gun.
The smoking gun. It's taking
No
me down.
Handshake.
But for marketing jobs, ZipRecruiter said that the average annual income for Florida is $50,808. In the Tampa area, the average annual is $64,000, which doesn't feel right for an entry-level position, but it's what they have it listed.
This is definitely not right for an entry-level position.
It is not.
We know people who have graduated with some actually ridiculous looking resumes, some stellar resumes.
yes.
They are not making this much.
Yes, this is what the data says.
Sure.
Which, as you can see on look at this little chart on the right side. It says that 50K is the average. But you see there's these little spikes that are over in the what would be the high or the low 30s, like low 40s area.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be more accurate to the entry level positions that you're trying to find. And I have a few slides going into this that focus more on that. But yeah, this is what the data that I found says. At $37K minimum with a bachelor's degree, assuming that you want to make a little bit more money, have a little more expensive of lifestyle, it's slightly higher than 34. But there are 719 jobs that are currently available on Glassdoor as of me doing this research, which I did, I think, 4 days ago.
Sure.
1,000 plus jobs available on ZipRecruiter and 600 plus on Indeed. You can look at this little range over here. A lot of the jobs are going to be over 37K, so you just got to find them. You got to interview for them, find something that works with you.
You got to beat other people, and there's 800,000 people applying for every job.
I mean, we can talk
but
about
that's okay.
We can talk about the thing. I didn't put it on the slide, but we can talk about how a lot of the jobs are posting these ghost positions, and never responding to you even when you send an application.
Yep.
But if you look at the websites, the jobs are out there. It's just a matter.
Supposedly.
The jobs are supposedly out there. It's a matter of if they're real. But if you look at the data and you look at the websites, the jobs are out there.
Statistically, you should be able to find a job somewhere somehow.
Statistically, you should be able to find a job that covers your expenses. I sourced a bunch of Reddit comments. So this is from a Reddit post that was asking people, when you first came into the marketing role, how much money did you make? And I found a few different sources. One guy says you should be looking for the 50K to 60K range. For a small company, you wouldn't be making that much, but larger companies would end up paying around there. This one guy started at 45K and then got to 48K. This guy in the bottom left started at 39K, worked his way up to 46 after 3 years. And then guy in the bottom right, who is the most pessimistic about it, is if you can get anything more than 40,000 a year, start doing
backflips. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the comments talks about started at 45, got around 48 after a few years. Mm-hmm. This is I'm assuming this is a smaller company, and he's not moving jobs or anything.
Yeah.
Though it seems like the job market tends to be if you want to, you should not be waiting around for promotions. If after 2 years you're not being promoted significantly, chances are you go find a better offer somewhere else. That's just, that's how most, I would say most roles end up now.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how the job market is now.
Oh, it's especially like that with marketing because turnover rates are really high.
Yeah.
Low key in marketing, unless you're working for your dream company that has really, really good set mobility within the organization.
Yeah, or great benefits or great work-life balance. You don't have to commute or whatever. There's other benefits that they can give you more than just straight out dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unless you're in a really good company, most people are moving around every year, every 2 years between different organizations trying to find something that's paying slightly more. You're slowly, incrementally moving up the ladder. Looking for jobs while you're in jobs to try and find where it is that you can, cover all your stuff, get paid the best. But that's marketing. Looking at sales, ZipRecruiter said that the average annual for Florida is $60,000.
This has to be including commissions, right? Average commissions?
Yeah, this is, I assume, including commissions. It's just how they have it listed.
This is quite higher.
Yeah. 77,000 average annual for Tampa, which my dad My dad works in sales at the moment. He works in sales for I forget which dealership he's at exactly because he's been moving around a lot. But he told me when I was talking about jobs, because I'm graduating with a marketing degree and I'm like, I want to work here and I might be making this much, and he's like, you should be making $80,000.
That's crazy.
And I thought he was insane.
Yeah.
And I started talking to a few other people who said that he was insane. But looking at the data, I can see where he got the number. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're working in sales. Indeed said the average annual for Florida was $84,000, with a $73,000 annual average for Tampa. Again, this is just from ZipRecruiter and Indeed, just the data that they have available based on people sending in how much money they're making, what jobs are posted, what jobs end up getting accepted and filled. So your mileage may vary. This is what the data said. And then at the $37K minimum that I said, there's a lot of jobs in sales that are going to be below that. They probably have lower listings, and then they're like, oh, you can make a commission by selling this much and by selling this much. But there are 2,907 jobs available on Glassdoor at this number, which I believe is a lot higher than the marketing jobs available. 1,000 plus available on ZipRecruiter, 600 plus on Indeed. When looking into the qualifications of like, you have a degree and you want to make like $37K minimum. Yeah.
Sales jobs specifically, when you're looking like online for sales positions, you got to be a little bit more careful as well. Do your due diligence on the company 100%.
Yeah.
Because you are much more likely to be walking into, some kind of like pyramid scheme, scam, fake listing, all kind of thing. If it's specifically a sales position.
Yeah. Like a multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah. 100%. You could be selling knives to your neighbors if you're not careful, man.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't buy any courses on sales, by the way.
Please don't.
They're not going to help you. That's their business. That's how they make their money.
Yeah.
So, moving forward, last consideration that we have now that we've looked at how much money that you need to make, what the jobs are offering if you look at the primary websites. Here's the last consideration. A recession might be coming.
Yeah.
Like low-key might be coming. Economists and betting markets agree odds of a recession are rising. This is a Business Insider article that was posted in the beginning of March of this year. Consumer sentiment is very down, which is a usual recession indicator. People aren't really planning vacations or anything like that.
There's some really good recession indicators as well. Like defaulting on car payments is going up. It's the highest it's been in, I want to say like 20 years or something.
Probably since 2008.
Yeah. Like car payments is a really good like sort of canary in the coal mine.
Because if people are paying for their car, then they're not going to pay for like anything else. It's because we live in a car-centric economy. You need your car. You need to get to work. You need to do this. So if they're not paying for their car, they've done their best to strip bare bones everything else to be able to continue to go to work. Exactly.
Like car payments are down. People are defaulting on mortgages or on loans way more, like at a way higher frequency. There is what's it called? People's debt is like out of control. Yep. Speaking of which,
Klarna,
I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the podcast.
We did a little bit, but not much,
The number one piece of advice I've seen for anybody like coming out of college, like our age, just in general, especially like young men, don't get into sports gambling.
Yep.
Don't get into sports gambling. Do not use Klarna or Afterpay or anything if you can help it.
If you can't afford it, don't buy it.
I'm sure it'll work for some people. I'm sure people that have used it and it's perfectly fine. But it is a system built for the one time you slip up, and so don't put yourself in a position to do something like that. Try to be as debt free as possible. Obviously, it's not it's not possible for some people.
But if you can avoid it, avoid it.
Yeah, debt is bad in general, especially like debt like this is bad.
Yes,
you should not be paying for like basic things with debt. So, that's what I would say for sure. I think there's a recession coming. Just me.
Yeah, I have one other slide that's how close are we to a recession and how will we know when we get there. Economic data suggests that the risk is low. I tried to find things that are like pro, there's a recession coming, anti that there's a recession coming. Everyone's like, the market's really uncertain and we don't know what's going to happen. So like people are tightening up and not spending as much, which could mean that we could be entering an economic recession.
It could also mean that we're already in one.
Yes.
The actual, like the last recession, the 2008 recession, I don't think it got identified as a recession until like 2009.
Well, yeah, because what's the way that they designate something a recession is it's like 2 periods of negative GDP growth or something like that.
So there's like a lag.
So you can't tell until you're already in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we could be in it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a great way to know, just for sure. Also, like I watched the Federal Reserve. Like I watched Jerome Powell talk about, the economy the last time he like addressed the news media and everything, and there's literally nothing. Like there's nothing to be gained from watching that.
Yeah.
I watched it hoping to get some more insight. He
looks depressed.
He looks depressed, but he also like it's his job to project strength and be like, oh no, everything's normal, everything's actually fine. But the media was cooking him. Media was cooking him. So I don't know. I was hoping that he would be, at least like Mr. Federal Reserve, Mr. Big Number guy.
Tell us everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah. I was hoping. I was hoping he was gonna not even just tell us everything's be okay. I want to know like the truth. I don't want him to just like sort of be like, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
But no, he ended up basically just being like, no, it's actually all good though. And then reporters were like, well,
because it's bad for his job if he admits that the economy is like cooked. Because then everything's going to crash if the head of the Federal Reserve is
his job is to just like stop people from panicking.
Exactly. So basically you got warning signs of a weakening economy. There's not exact indicators of, hey, we're definitely entering a recession. Hey, we're definitely in a recession. But a lot of the signs are there. I don't know if y'all have ever seen The Big Short. But some of the similar things from that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not a finance major. But when you start entering a recession, it's very bad for the field of marketing. Marketing is usually the first job that ends up getting cut in a recession because it's hard for CEOs, for heads of companies to sort of see the value in marketing because it doesn't directly translate to, even if it does like translate to sales, because that's why would people do marketing?
Well, if people are tightening their purse strings,
then
it makes sense that marketing, would get cut.
Yeah, because they can get away with not spending on marketing because it just makes more sense for them because it's like there's not a dollar value. In their minds, it's like this is just an expense.
Sure.
So they can cut down on the expense. So even if you maintain your marketing job, you're going to see the budget that you're given to work with being cut down a lot.
Yeah. If you can get a job in the government, which is very tough now, if you can get a job in the government or if you can get a job somewhere in healthcare, those are the only 2 fields of growth. I've said it a million times on the podcast for sure. Those are the only 2 fields, like job fields that are growing still, like at a reasonable rate. It's that, or if you can figure out a way to somehow cement yourself in, death or death, taxes, or the white boy in the corner for a 3. Those are the only 3 things in life that are permanent.
It's true.
So I don't know, become like sell like funeral packages, or something,
or
if you can deal with
Pritchard.
it. Yeah.
You could become Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
But marketing budgets usually get cut down in a recession. If you don't lose your job, you're going to be given less to work with, so you have to adapt for that if you're trying to get into a marketing job. If you're graduating this year, like us, we graduated high school in COVID, and now we might be graduating into a recession.
It is what it is, man.
Which, hey, that's the hand we got dealt.
What are you going to do?
What can you do about it? And giving a point of comparison for sales, every job is obviously affected by a recession and faces like higher levels of turnover during a recession because companies are trying to cut down on stuff. And consumer spending during a recession does drop dramatically because people just don't have the money. They barely have the money to cover their expenses, so they're not going to buy like sports tickets.
Yeah, they're just more conscious about spending money.
Exactly. But sales is a very, very important revenue source, if not like the only. Like, it's usually the primary revenue source for a lot of companies, so they're still going to need people doing sales. So there will still be jobs there.
Your commissions are going to get slashed, though.
Yeah.
You will probably not make as much as before.
Exactly.
Because it'll be a harder sell. I guess if you're in B2B, maybe it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, because businesses, the bigger corporations, especially now that like big corporations are still... They have so much money.
They're big.
They're not super affected by recessions as much as like the smaller companies.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, B2B sales. It'll obviously still be affected.
Yes. Everything's going to get affected.
Yeah.
Some will be a little more resistant. And also, sales hiring is up this year. I have a little source in the bottom of the screen. But overall, you got to find good industries that are making good sales, that are a little more recession-proof, things that people need, even if there is a recession happening. But getting into sales might be a little more consistent than getting into marketing if you're looking at graduating with the current economic outlook right now.
Sure.
And you're also a little more in control of what you make if you're still making commission. So if you work really hard, you're less what's the word? You're less reliant on your boss being like, okay, I'm gonna keep paying you.
Yeah, yeah. Like you get a direct. There's a direct line between how hard you work, like
and how much money you make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just it's not just off the charity of your boss just not firing you.
Exactly. So
I wanted to touch on something before. We didn't read out the Reddit comments or the Reddit post things that we had, but a lot of things that I've seen from those and also from the USF alum, like a bunch of people that I've seen, come back and talk about working in the industry, is they've said do not follow the money all the time.
Yes.
And every time they say that, I roll my eyes, but it's because I'm broke.
and you want to make money.
And I want to make enough money to live. But there has to be some level of truth to it. Otherwise, like there would not be this many people saying it. So if you are able to find a job that, comfortably pays for your expenses and you have a team you actually like working with, your boss isn't a total nutcase, then it might be worth sticking around for sure. You don't have to move every 2 years and go up if other parts of your life are not suffering because of your job. Yeah, for sure.
So moving into our little conclusion, just going over in summary everything that we went over. A typical USF business graduate will typically need $34,000 a year or $16 an hour to cover their expenses and live comfortably. Lots of jobs within the Tampa area, based on the research that we found on job hiring sites, can cover these costs within marketing and sales. But if there's a recession on the horizon, you might want to look more into getting into sales than getting into marketing because it's a little more stable. But ultimately, it's about what you want to do.
Yeah.
This is our first one of these presentations that we've done. So
yeah, let us know if you like the format.
Yeah, if you like the format, things that were right, things that were wrong, things that you want us to change. Any comments that you have, we got a comment section for a reason, so be sure to fill that out. But I believe
we definitely hit time.
We are definitely over time, so it's time for us to start getting back on the clock. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Show up to our general body meeting, which is in BSN 225 at 4:45 p.m. That is going to be tomorrow. From after when you're seeing this tomorrow for us too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
BSN 225 at 4:45 p.m. Every Tuesday. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.